All right, y'all, good morning. Welcome to Kitchen Chemistry with Mr. Dray. So today we are going to be demonstrating our property of solubility and insolubility while I make my morning coffee. So I know you all see me during class. Mr. Dray is always sipping on a cup of coffee. This is my favorite drink, and it's actually a great example of what we've been looking at, a physical property of some matter. So coffee is just made from beans. These are ground up already. We grind them up so that the water can more easily get inside, because beans themselves are a little impermeable to water, so they don't like to let water into them. So the first step is you got to grind it up. I already did that. Then you put it into this is what's called a French press. This is a very fancy, bougie coffee maker. Then the next step is you boil some water. I don't know if you can hear it, but I have water right off to this side. It is boiling. And the reason that we use boiling water is you can make coffee with cold water, but it takes a very long time. You can make coffee with cold water. It's called cold brewed coffee, but it takes over 24 hours to make. And that is because, remember, as we talked in class, as temperature goes up of the solvent, the solubility also goes up. The amount of stuff that can dissolve into the liquid increases as the temperature of the liquid increases. So that is why I'm going to take some beautiful boiling water right here. I'm going to see that it's at what's called a rolling boil right now with all these bubbles coming up. It is changing from the liquid to the gas phase, if we remember our phase changes. So this water, I know, is exactly 100 degrees Celsius. I'm going to now pour it in to my coffee maker, and you should see the water instantly turns brown. So what's happening here is that water is absorbing some of the flavor compounds and the caffeine and several other molecules out of the coffee beans. And as you watch, you should see these are the beans up here now. They're floating, the ground up beans are floating on top. The beans themselves are not soluble in water. And that is, so we have both soluble compounds down here and insoluble compounds up here. They'll separate out. I like to do my coffee, I like to stir it a couple times though, because that helps everything dissolve a little faster. So I'm gonna stir it up. Again, this just helps that water get inside of those beans, and you can think about it kind of like sucking out all of the stuff that we want from the inside of the beans. So we have to get the water deep inside of there for it to get all of those things out, and you should see as this liquid stops spinning, that the beans will then again settle up to the top. And I've also noticed as well sometimes that as the beans become completely diluted of everything or get all of their contents removed, they actually fall to the bottom. So you have to really let it sit to get that to happen. But I'm gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna press it out and drink some coffee. I hope that this, kind of helps you see a little bit more of what we were talking about in class in a way that might be a little more familiar than a lab. Because kitchens are just labs, just less fancy.